Decided every week, we're going to have a Cover Tuesday segment with former Tennessee and NFL defensive back and your teammate, Jonathan Wade, who joins us now.
Heck yeah, Jay Wade. Just want to get your personal opinion of how the defense played for Tennessee on Saturday. 13 points given up, had a lot of sacks, but overall, what was your take on Tennessee's defense?
I want to preface my comments by saying this. I wrote that down to make sure I told you that. Before I get started, I want to say I need the film copy, the all-22 copy, before I feel truthful about what I'm about to say.
Fair.
Having that said, it was exciting, man. That was so refreshing for me. They absolutely flew around. Like, Tim Banks is doing an amazing job. I mean, they were flying around. Defense travels, and that defense looks like it will be able to travel.
Secondary was probably the most scrutinized position group in the offseason, Jay Wade. I thought they played better, but I also thought that the D-line did a really good job of helping them and making their job a whole lot easier. You had multiple sacks on the quarterback. Speak to how the D-line for Tennessee this year can help the secondary.
They work hand in hand. Not that the backers don't matter as much, but the defensive line and the secondary go hand in hand. Case in point, if you go back to when the Giants won the Super Bowl, the first time they beat the Patriots, you can't even name me anybody that was in the secondary when Michael Strahan and Justin Tuck and those boys were up front. You can't. When your defensive line is getting pressure, it makes the secondary's job a lot easier. Vice versa, when you can play man every play on the back end, it doesn't matter what you're doing with the front seven now. So those two work hand in hand. Again, to see that the way it was, if it wasn't a pass being broken up, a big hit in the back end, it was a sack. If it wasn't a hurt, it was one of the. Bro, it was very exciting to see. I know it's game one, and again, I need the all-22 copy, which is what they're going over and what they're making their adjustments on. But it looks like it's up. You know, it looks better than it was last year. A lot more confidence coming off of the game one. And again, I know you can only take that for what it's worth, but discipline, being where you're supposed to be, we didn't look like we were all over the place. That matters.
Jonathan Wade is with us, former Tennessee and NFL back, Cover Tuesday each week here on Josh and Swain. And during the offseason and August conversations, a lot of it was about the amount of guys, especially up front, they'll be able to count on. Was that backed up in what you saw on Saturday, that they'll be able to count on more guys that can fly around?
Absolutely. Now, having that said, depth is always the greatest thing, but, you know, trying to figure that out too early, who is the guy, you know, who's the right, who are the ones you need in the fourth quarter, who are the ones you need on third down. That's going to be a little different because these are kids and they're not fully matured and stuff yet. So some of the guys that are giving you maximum effort all the time, they're not giving you the same thing in practice that they're giving you in the game. So having multiple players is going to force you into a situation where you're steady kind of waiting to see if a guy's going to come around. Having that said, this is a great thing because now we don't have to worry about those guys getting so fatigued. We have new guys. Who's Pierce?
He's a sack master, sack artist. He's a sophomore, true sophomore, super athletic. It was a five-star coming out of high school.
Hey, he's like a DB. So when I'm watching this, I feel like he's one of us. Like he makes our job easy. These guys we have so much depth going on right now. As long as we keep the right guys in the right places. I noticed one time during the game we did kind of switch some guys out in the secondary, and their offense opened up. So like those are the type of things that we're going to have to like make sure we're figuring out early versus later because again we have this gauntlet SEC conference that we have to play, and we can't be second-guessing or not sure when it comes to those games.
Joined by VFL Jonathan Wade here on Josh and Swain. Anything you saw on Saturday that you want to see us do a better job on Saturday against Austin Peay? So next game, Austin Peay, you want to see us do a little bit better job?
Yes, I got something. I'm going to speak specific. SPECIFICALLY specifically.
There you go.
All right.
Good
Did
job.
I do that right? Good job.
Yeah,
How about
good,
that, huh?
good job, man.
All right.
Good
I'm
job.
going to speak that word to Kamal Hatton. I want to see you press more every play and trust your feet. When he presses, he's a completely different player from when he plays off. Not that he isn't good and not that he doesn't need to change up, but he needs to consistently put that on film and show that he is that guy.
He did a really good job of playing the receiver's hands.
He did. He did a really good job of getting hands on receivers. But he needs to know he's that guy. And this is the perfect conference to do that guy stuff. This is the perfect conference to do it in. That's one thing I want to see different. I want to see the corners truly believe in themselves and go attack. This is a game where we go put it on film. Go show it to yourself. Don't take this game lightly. Go handle business and then do what you got to do afterwards. You know how I am about these games.
Who stood out on offense specifically to you?
Jason Swain. You know the answer to this question. The three-headed monster we got in the backfield. Now, I'm going to say the offensive line first because it doesn't happen without them.
Yeah.
But, oh, my gosh, Jason, we got a run game. We actually average in the stat sheet after we average 5 yards a touch. Oh, that's problem.
You mentioned how you feel about these type games. So it's Austin Peay this week. It's a tune-up before you go into SEC play next week. How do you feel about these games? What is the importance of this game from Tennessee's standpoint?
You see that word you just said, tune-up? That's the important. Don't fall into that. Not that is not what you said, but you have to psychologically wrap your mind around something different. And you know who truly exposed this to me? I watched him play after I left because I wasn't good at this. My dad would tell me all the time, you wouldn't have to worry about me being focused when we played Florida, Georgia. You don't have to worry about me being focused. We play somebody else, I might not be as focused. These are the games that Eric Berry would go have like 15 interceptions. Go do your thing. Don't take the game off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hey, you're the guest, man. We want to make sure you're comfortable. Is there a team this weekend that impressed you as you were watching college football around the country? Is there a team that impressed you?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Colorado did. Multiple different reasons, though. Maybe not for the reason everybody else thought, but it's real, you know, what you can do with recruiting and what you can do when people believe in you as a coach. Like when those guys are behind you like that, like it's unbelievable what you can do. Now, they got another big one this weekend coming up, which, you know, in college football you got to test every weekend. Florida State was impressive. Florida State reminded me of what we used to think back when I was coming out, what they used to look like. Kind of, you know, and maybe, and I don't know if it was who they were playing, and maybe they shouldn't rank top 10 team, you know, maybe they should call them just top 10. We got y'all in this group of top 10. But anybody in the top 10, you don't know how good they really are. You don't. But Florida State was extremely impressive. Colorado obviously was impressive. We were impressive. I would like for a lot of people to relax with Joe. He's going to figure it out. A mature kid. We're not gonna be perfect right now, but we got a run game. We ain't had that in. Whoo. Let me see. What else was anything? Did anything impress you, Jason? Josh?
Yeah. I mean, the running game, three-headed monster impressed me. I think our front defensively, you know, impressed me. We were able to play multiple guys, different positions on the offensive line, defensive line. I mean, that was good. That speaks to the depth. I thought Joe Milton had a B. Type of game, B+ type of game. You know, it was the first game of the season.
Unfortunately, get compared to Hendon Hooker. That's not fair to him.
That's just part of it.
Yeah.
That's just part of it. But we understand. You play wide receiver. You understand how the rhythm the chemistry, the timing, it will improve from game one. And we saw that game one for Tennessee. Like, it was a little bit off. He made some big plays, but it's still not where it needs to be. Last year, Jay Wade, remember the Pittsburgh game, Hooker couldn't find Tillman at all.
Right.
There were so many passes that were incomplete. But you made the play late in the game when it mattered. And then after the fourth game of the season, going into LSU, that's when all the offense started really clicking for Tennessee.
Right.
So it'd be all right.
I got another one. I got another thing, too. I think that we have a weapon that we do not use in D. Williams. And the reason I'm saying it is I think they need to take everybody that's not a starter off of special teams and put all of your dogs out there and let's go block for this kid. We are missing a touchdown. Like that kid can change the game if they put the right people out. Just put your studs out there for that is an offensive play.
And he made two big ones.
And he's going to make more. You listen, Jason. You know the studs aren't out on special teams. Which is a whole
we're probably a year away.
We're a year away from what?
We're probably a year away from doing that.
How many years did D. Williams have? What year is it?
I think he has another year after this one. But you want to see more starters on special teams. All I'm saying is, from a depth standpoint and a roster standpoint, we're not there yet to put the Jay Allens on special teams. We're not there yet.
We have enough DBs to put them on. Like they can be, they should, and I'm sure they are. But like, no, don't do that. It's not. We got some depth, and you know, special teams are full of like the athletes, the ones, the big people that can run fast, the small people that's way stronger than they should be. Like that's what special teams. But put those guys out there to block for that guy. That kid matters. He breaks one of those in Georgia, Alabama. Those are huge plays. Let's not take this lightly. That's what Chicago did for Devin Hester. That was an offensive play they were running every time the ball was kicked to him. It was not a joke.
Listen, his first big return, he let the punter tackle him. He got to make a move and make a miss and go score that thing. Don't be blaming the starters. Don't be blaming the fact that the starters wasn't on the special teams. D got to go score.
Well, D, you've got to deal with that yourself. D, you got to deal with that.
See?
You got. But I just want to guarantee that we get him on the punter. How about that? I'll take my chance. I don't even know if we can take our chances with that because he's shown us that maybe in that situation the punter go win.
Hey, Jonathan. Last thing for me, it's non-Tennessee related to something you mentioned though. Travis Hunter, close to 130 snaps, wide receiver and corner. You played wide receiver and then corner. Can you imagine playing that many snaps? Deion said it. He scoffed at the idea that it wouldn't be sustainable. Is it? Can he go that way all the way through the season, playing 100-plus snaps a game?
I did this briefly at Tennessee before I got injured. My first concern watching it, first and foremost, I am not Travis Hunter. I did not play every snap like that. But I did go both ways sophomore year before I got injured. My first thought was, oh, my gosh, is this sustainable? That was my first. Because things are going to change. Teams are going to start scheming. You're going to play, I don't know. It's a different type of talent because TCU was just in the national championship. I don't know. I mean, who's this? I would love, personally, I wanted to go to a college that was going to give me the opportunity to even try it. So I don't if you got that type of ability, absolutely let it go, let it fly, let it ride as long as you can. The only way to be the best player is to go prove that you're the best player every play like that, and if that's what it takes, and you're better than the other people, yes, we got to go figure it out. I don't know. That was impressive though, right? 110 snaps. Can you believe that?
Yeah, with a game-changing pick and 11 catches on the offensive side. He didn't just play; he made a big difference on both sides.
And they were real catches, too. These were like digs across the middle of the field and curl routes. And these were very impressive.
Y'all forget one thing. First week in September, it was a day game, and it was in Texas.
Yep.
He did this.
Yep. Yeah, he's impressive. How good is he? I don't know. He's better than most, though. He's better than most. He's already proven that. This is great. We're going to do this every week. Jonathan Wade, Cover Tuesday, VFL, former Tennessee and NFL defensive back. And Jay Wade, next week is Florida week. So can't wait to talk to you next Tuesday about what will have happened, but what's coming up next week in SEC play.
Awesome. I just did the Florida Gator chump and thought somebody might have seen me again, like what happened in school.
But Ford's going to come. Right. He's going to come stop you. Cut it out.
See you guys next week.